Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne doing your September 23rd daily horoscope for all signs. You guys like my scarf? People were complaining about my blue shirt, so I will put on this scarf for you guys. I really don't know how to tie a scarf. This is actually probably like a sarong. It's better for me to wear it like as like a cape. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm theatrical, so I'm gonna do like a cape. How about that? How's that? I feel like I've got the energy now. I know. I crack you guys up. It's me just really entertaining you. That's what it's all about. Entertainment, right? Okay, so I'm a little loopy because I basically did all my videos, as you know, nonstop yesterday. I really didn't leave my room for like 9 hours. And then I went straight to work and I felt like I didn't have a weekend. So I'm a little looped out, but nevertheless, your daily card, you know, I look kind of funny with this cape deal here. So we're going to do this. How about that? See, this is why I don't wear scarves, because I fuss. I continuously fuss until I eventually take it off. I'm more simple, but because this has dragonflies on it, I got this, and I like it, and I've had this forever, and I don't think I've ever worn it. So, for you guys, I'm wearing this lovely scarf, and you know, it kind of today is the first day of fall, as far as I know. Now, wait a minute, I gotta look that up. Now, wait a second. Wait a minute. I just gotta double check. I'm really weird about stuff like this. I get paranoid when I say like it is something, because everybody tries to hold me to everything I say. So today, I'm pretty sure. Now my computer's running really slow. This, for me, is one of my biggest issues. My computer suddenly... Yes, today is the day of the autumnal equinox. That's what it is. Yes. So we're celebrating fall by wearing this scarf. Today's the first day. And it actually, when I went out this morning, it smelled like fall. Fall was in the air. And it's kind of a refreshing smell. And it's weird because, you know, I love summer. I've always loved summer. But, you know, change is always welcome, I think. You know? Okay, so I'm going to pick a card. No more fussing about. Interesting, because you got this one recently. At least I think you got this one. I never remember. So this is basically, it's getting what you want, getting what you wish for. This is a woman who's wishing on dandelions. This could be a guy too. Okay, so I think of this as a woman, but for all you guys that are watching this is either something that you want or you're wishing for, because I feel like she is able to grant your wish. She is magical. So it's sort of like you go outside, you pick a dandelion, it's got all those fuzzy seeds, and you make a wish. You can be a guy or girl. Anybody can do this. You go outside and you do that, and then this person says, okay, I hear you, and I'm going to make that true. I'm going to make that happen for you. So it's interesting because September 23rd is the day after fall. And I feel like this week is like all about gearing up for this, I guess, gearing up to, it's like speeding up to slow down, okay? Everything's got to happen just before Mercury goes into retrograde. So a lot of times there's this last minute push to make things happen just before retrograde. Because it's sort of like intuitively, we all kind of know that things are going to slow down. things are about to slow down, and it's going to feel like you're moving underwater, and you know, it's sort of like when you need to go to the chiropractor and you're like, everything seems to be like so painful. That's Mercury retrograde. That's what October is going to be like, pretty much for the entirety of it. So this is like the last, you know, week and a few days of September, and so there's this energy to really get things done. And right now is the time, okay? So now is the time to make a wish. Be very specific and careful about what you wish for, or what you ask for, or what you ask God for, or what you ask the angels for, okay? Just be really super clear. Okay, make little addendums if you have to. I always do that. You know, I make a little wish and then I write a little addendum. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, please do these things as well. But don't, it's sort of like, okay, so this brings something up for me. I wanted to mention this. Don't be like stuck on outcomes. And I know I'm talking to a bunch of people who are watching horoscope videos, so clearly you want to know what's going to happen. But so like you guys kind of like, and everybody wants to know. But the thing about life is that no one ever really does. Even psychics. Okay, this is why psychics aren't millionaires. Okay, this is why we don't all win the lottery, because we know what the numbers are. Even if we do know their numbers are, maybe something blocks us from having the fortune, you know, or the money, you know. So it's not as simple as that. It's not like if I tell you, you know, you're gonna get married next June. Part of it is like you want that to happen. So by me telling you, it's sort of like you're gonna make it happen. And a lot of times things do come true by what psychics say, because you manifest it after somebody's told you, okay, this is what's going to happen, because it's what you want. Then you manifest it. You make it happen. You make it real. So this is an interesting day, you know. There's a lot of magic in this day. Because, I mean, you don't realize these little seeds, these little fuzzy dudes, these little fuzzies, you know, down here, and in the wind, you know, she's blowing on them here. These little fuzzy dudes are actually quite magical. Because they're like little mini cosmoses. You know, they're like little mini worlds, universes. There's all this energy in there. And again, it's the life force. And that tiny little seed has enough memory and knowledge to be this big plant. Okay? So it's just sort of like, I'm getting something about what is within and is also without. Okay, so there's that mathematical thing where like everything out there is actually equal to everything inside of us. So, you know, Scorpios, I've been thinking about you guys because, you know, someone mentioned I didn't go farther enough into my Scorpio October video. But Scorpios are very deep. And this is something that they can connect to really easily. It's this mathematical thing where that's what the equation is. And it kind of blows my mind. When my friend told me this, I didn't really believe her. But mathematically, it's true. So it's sort of like, again, it goes back to those little seeds. It's like the seed of an idea can grow into this huge job opportunity, can grow into a company. So it's sort of like this day is about planting a seed. It's literally about taking something very, very small and realizing that it has lots of potential. And I want you to be very like, you know, scrutinize things and be like, okay, what's the potential in these things? Where is this going? What is it that you want? Because if what you want is worth doing, you know, this is where the scrutiny comes in. If it's worth your while, okay? And sometimes I think there are people that don't have imagination. Now, this is something that's hard for me to connect with, but at the same time, I understand. I have an imagination. My brain does not literally has no boundaries. So I believe that one little seed, and I understand one little seed has all this potential. But a lot of people, they'll take that little seed and they'll analyze it, and it'll be in this box, and all they will see is the seed. They don't see the potential. So you need to really scrutinize what things are worth. I feel like there's a worth element, okay? People overanalyze. So I feel like Libras, you guys, this is a day for you Libras. Libras, do not overanalyze, okay? And then Virgos, Tauruses, Capricorns, you guys, you need to be a little bit more critical about what something is worth. Get in touch with your feelings. Get in touch with, I want you guys to be like really more in your head, okay? Because you guys are more like really pragmatic. I want you to visualize. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys need to visualize something, the potential of something. So if you want to move into this beautiful house, you know, somewhere else in the country, okay, you earth signs, then you need to visualize all the potential that's there, okay? You need to visualize it starting off as, like, maybe it's like you're building a house and there's only the foundation, and you need to visualize every single, you know, part of it becoming real, and every single room, and what the windows will look like, and what you want for the furniture, and what you want for appliances. I mean, you need to really get into it, okay, and visualize, okay? Fire signs. You guys need to, like, put pictures up. I feel like it's really important because there's a lot of fire energy here, okay? She is wearing orange, all right? And there's these foxes near her. So maybe she has a couple of kids. Or maybe she just has a connection to nature. She has a couple of pets. Yeah, I think of the foxes like the dogs, you know. So maybe you're a dog lover, you know. You're watching this video and you're like, I have 2 dogs. I love 2 dogs. I love my dogs. You know, that this is you wanting something, okay? But in order for you, and you may be a fire sign. You may be Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. I'm feeling strongly kind of Aries energy. It's Sagittarius too. You know, you guys just need to get pictures of what it is that you want and put them up, okay, around you. If you want the corner office, you know, draw yourself, you know, as a stick figure, if you can't really draw, sitting at a desk, in a chair, in a corner office of a building. Or go out and take a photograph of a big building near you. Or go online and see if you can find it on Google, like Google Images or something. And, you know, get some pictures and put them up. And so because you need Aries and the Sagittarius, you need to focus a little bit more, I feel like, on visualizing. The people that are going to overanalyze, see, okay, so again, Scorpios, they're going to get it. Scorpios already get it. Scorpios are already kind of deep enough to understand that that little seed has that potential, and they value that. And Scorpios are going to value it. They're going to cling on to it. Scorpios, your challenge, I guess, would be to visualize it happening and know that it will, and letting it go. Don't hold so tightly onto these things. Be it like, you know, it's sort of like you can't, if you were to blow on that little dandelion and all those seeds were to flow out, you can't cling on to those seeds, okay? You can't. So when you're in life, Scorpios, you need to plant the seeds and let it go. Let the seeds go. Let some things go that maybe you're clinging on to. That's the key to these things coming true for you, okay? By you hanging on to them and trying to control them and every little step of the way, sometimes things need space to grow and develop. If you smother it and you suck all the oxygen out of it, it's not going to grow. A plant needs space, and plant roots need space, and it needs both water and sunshine. If you just give it water and not enough sunshine and smother it, then it's not gonna grow. So you need to give your business some room to grow. Take a step back for a day. Ignore your email inbox. Just let things go for a day. And all of a sudden, it's like that movie, Under the Tuscan Sun, right? The advice was for France, I think her name was Frances, to let it go and ignore it for a while. And it was like, she said, once she fell asleep and she just took a nap for a little while and she just relaxed, she woke up and she was covered in ladybugs. And those ladybugs are, in my mind, ladybugs are happiness. Ladybugs are good fortune. Ladybugs are, I've always been a huge fan of ladybugs. They're just the miracle workers. They're like little mini angels, on the planet. So if you see a ladybug, it's a sign, okay? They're awesome. It's a sign that you're on the right path. If you see roaches, you're not on the right path. Okay, it's time to be clear about what you want and, start something. I'm a huge fan of growing things from seed. If you guys are financially struggling and you want something to actually grow, you need to literally get some seeds and start potting them. And there's all these videos on YouTube on how to grow things from seed. I know we're going into fall, but those of you who are in, South America, Southern Hemisphere, I think you guys are going into spring. So for you guys, this would be a perfect opportunity to take some seeds, whatever you eat, take those little seeds and put them in some soil, follow the directions on YouTube on how to plant these things, and they'll grow, and that energy is what you want. That energy is good fortune. That energy is money, okay? Okay, so we talked about Scorpios. We talked about fire signs. You need to get pictures and visualize and hang them up around you. And you also need to, I feel like, stop dreaming about, I guess, fire signs tend to do this thing where if they don't get exactly what they want, they get upset. And so then they kind of they burn out. It's like they go for like the highest position, and if they don't get it, they get depressed, okay? So you guys need to be realistic about what it is that you want and how attainable is it at this moment. And if it's not 100% attainable at this moment, you need to, I'm not saying settle for less, but do something in the meantime that is attainable, that you can do. Because if you keep wishing and wishing and wishing and wishing, and it's not happening, you don't feel like anything's happening, then you may have set your sights in a way too high. And I normally say dream big or go home, but for you fire signs, it's almost like you have these, your sights are so high that you guys could just be in bed for the rest of your life, depressed that you're not up here, and you could have missed something really great halfway, okay? And if you're not where you guys want to be, you guys maybe need to go back to school, touch up your resume, get somebody to look at your resume if you're not in the career that you want, okay? If you're not getting what it is that you want. Air signs, I feel like they're dealing with relationships right now. They're dealing with old relationships and new relationships and what they want in relationships. That's where air signs are kind of at. Everybody, it's a little mixed here and there. Air signs and water signs right now. I feel like it's about relationships. So I'm not saying that Taurus, you're on easy street with the relationships. That's not what I'm saying. But if you guys, I bet you guys anything, the percentage of people that are, if they were to make a wish on about relationships, right now it would be an air sign or a water sign that would pick up the dandelion and wish for love, wish for a better relationship. That is not to say that, you know, you earth signs aren't dealing with that. I feel like you earth signs are dealing more with life changes and moves and job, career stuff, and fire signs. I feel like you're dealing with burnout, you know, feeling like you're not sure where you're going. You know, you're not sure because you burn yourself out because either you work too hard in a fruitless job, or, you know, you're working 120 hours a week on 4 jobs, and you're just like, you're not feeling like you're getting anywhere, you know? And you guys need to visualize what it is that you want and figure out how you're going to get there. And realize that some things are not attainable today, you know? That some things are attainable tomorrow, but not today. You know, to get done what you can get done today, you know? And some of you need to stop moaning and groaning about what you don't have and be grateful for what you do have. And let that feeling of survival, you know, I was talking about this in my videos, I think for my Capricorn video especially, that feeling of survival, that feeling of just barely making it, feeling like you have nothing, you know? And just, it's a terrible mindset. It's a terrible way to live. And a lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're in survival mode, you know? And we need to figure out a way to get out of this, you know? And the way out of survival mode is being open to change. It's being open to doing something that you might not normally consider, and just really saying, okay, God, this is what I really would love, you know. But when something happens, don't be low. I can't do that because, you know, I'm not pretty enough. And I can't do that because I have nothing on my resume. And I can't do that because, you know, this, that, the other. No, because you're making excuses, right? We all do it. I do it myself, okay? I'm not exempt from that, okay? We all do it. Why? Because we're afraid of something. We're afraid that maybe our dreams will come true, and we won't be ready. Maybe we won't have the finances, you know? A lot of people are concerned. There's this big concern about how to achieve your dreams when you have no money, right? That's the big thing. You're like, God, I have to pay my rent. God, I need to pay my bills. God, I need to put food in, you know, on the table. You know, I have to get to work. I mean, how am I getting to work if I'm doing this food job and it's not making any money, right? And, you know, but here's the thing. You're limiting your mind. You're limiting, right? Limiting. Putting the blinders on, you're wearing a mask, you get the helmet on. You're like that dude in X-Men, right? He can't listen to, nothing can get to his brain. And his brain is so powerful. We don't realize how powerful our brain is, right? He's wearing that helmet, right? Nothing can get to him. I love the X-Men series, by the way. It's such a great series. Because it's just, you know, I have just an imagination. And every time I go see something like that, the fantasy kind of world, you know, my brain just kind of goes. It's like I get high off it, kind of. I just love it. But, yeah, so you can't have the helmet on. You know, you have to wear the helmet for life, the life helmet, but the helmet that's limiting, that's like saying, oh, I can't do that because I got to make bills and blah, 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 blah. No, you got to like turn things around, be positive, plant a seed, literally plant something, and visualize what it is that you really want, and ask the universe, God, and the angels for what it is you really want, and they will provide for you. And you need to trust and have faith that that's what will happen. And you can be practical. I am not saying, okay, quit your job today and don't pay your bills and don't pay your rent and you're homeless. No, I'm not saying that. Because the universe gets that there's this thing called money that we have to deal with, you know? But there are always other ways. So there is creativity here. You need to use your creativity, okay, on how to get to what it is that you want. How to take something very small and make it, a multi-million-dollar thing. The most successful people that have had multi-million-dollar businesses are people that started from nothing. They had nothing. They took one idea, I talk about Bethany Frankel all the time, and suddenly, I don't know why, she was in this crummy magazine saying that she's, losing money or whatever. Things haven't worked out. I just think that I'm a huge fan of hers because she took a dream. She took this idea, this one idea, for her brand. And she pitched it and pitched it and pitched it and didn't give up and made it into this $1 million company. And it's just $1 million brand, that is something that's what I'm talking about, You think your ideas aren't good enough to make money. Well, you might be very surprised, okay? You might be really surprised because this is the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about quirky, crazy ideas that nobody else has thought of, and it's, you need to get off your butt and start doing it. If you've always wanted to build something, maybe it's mechanical, maybe you work with your hands, and you do things with tools, I got a younger brother. He makes little things with his, he does things, he makes little parts, machine parts, and he's like an inventor, He takes his ideas and he does something with them, and that is the stuff that I think that's what this day is all about. That's what this day is saying. Okay, today is the day that you take your, maybe small idea, that little thing that you have always wanted. Maybe you've always wanted like a toothbrush that has like 4 heads, okay, and you can all put them all directions. You can brush your teeth like in 5 different ways. That would be a good idea. See, I just made something crazy up. But you know what? Someone could contact me and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's the greatest idea in the world." Why didn't I think of that? You heard it from me first. That's what Caroline Manzo always says. I love it. She's like, "You heard it from me first. Don't start saying you said that. No, I said that." She's like that. So yes, you heard it from me. Okay. Take your inventions and do something. Be creative. I always say that. Be creative, and start your own thing. And don't hesitate. Don't wait. But if you feel like you have made a wish or you have been praying, just know that your prayers are being heard, that they are going to be answered. It may take some time, and it's all timing. It's all in the universal timing. So it's not your timing. It's not like it's not like you can just be like, God, shower me with chocolate right now, because you're craving chocolate. And then all of a sudden, the sky is supposed to open up and shower you with chocolate. I mean, this is not reality, okay? That's just not how it works, okay? You guys need to be realistic about what it is that you want. Dream big, but be realistic, and think about what it's really worth to you and what it is that you want. And on that note, you guys are great. I'm going to continue on with a few more dailies. So if you see this scarf and this shirt again, well, that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with the dragonfly scarf, which I continue to fuss with. So I'm going to post this for September 23rd. Again, this is for all signs. For a private reading, feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com. You guys have been awesome. And if I don't get back to you right away, my email inbox is flooded. I would strongly suggest, if you have not made an appointment with me or scheduled something with me, I would strongly suggest to do so soon, because my next week is going to be booked up, and then you won't get to really talk to me for like 2 weeks. That's a long time if you really want answers like right now. It's a long time to wait. So again, feel free to email me. I wish you all the best. Big hugs. Big kisses. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night.